I was thinning my volunteer dill when I noticed these tiny white bumps on some of it.
These are the eggs of the black swallowtail butterfly, and in this video I'm going to tell you how to bring them inside and help them hatch. Unlike monarch butterflies, this type of swallowtail butterfly isn't in specific danger at the moment, but sheltering the caterpillars from predators will increase their individual rates of survival to adulthood. And these creatures are really fascinating. It's fun to watch them and learn all about them. The first thing you need to do is to find the eggs, which in my garden are found on the greens of carrots, fennel, parsley, and dill. The eggs are creamy white and shaped into perfect little round balls. Black swallowtails are found mainly in this area of the world, and in these places, they may be some of the easiest butterfly eggs to find in more urban locations because the caterpillars eat a lot of what home gardeners like to grow. They're part of a much bigger butterfly family though. There are over 500 varieties of swallowtails living on every continent except Antarctica. Most of them are big and sport big, bold colors, and most of them also have the little tail shape at the end of their wings, much like their namesake. When you find the eggs, you want to snip off a good bit of the plant that it's attached to before bringing it inside. Most of the plants that swallowtails lay their eggs on wilt pretty quickly, even when placed in a vase with water. I still get the best results when I do put, in this case my dill, in water, but I need to keep a close eye on it. If it goes limp while the egg is still on it, I prop it up with fresh dill so the caterpillar can quickly find fresh food after it hatches. Once the caterpillar hatches and starts eating, it will eat a lot and pretty quickly, so you may have to replace their food every day. Try to give them the same kind of plant that they hatched on, or if you don't have a lot of that particular kind of green, then switch them to another of their food sources very early and keep it the same for their caterpillar lives. Also make sure to give them enough to eat. If they run out of leaves to eat, they're likely to climb down the stem and fall into the water in the vase or to start crawling around your home. I found it pretty hard to move a swallowtail caterpillar from one leaf that's almost gone to a fresh sprig. Even from a tiny size, these caterpillars are great at spinning super strong silk, much like a spider would, and using it to anchor itself to wherever it wants to be. Most of the time, I don't try to move the caterpillar. I just put the new food in an obvious place and make sure that the caterpillar has a way to crawl from where it is to where it should want to go. As it grows, the caterpillar will get too big for its exoskeleton 5 times. It will pull the old shell off and expand into a bigger frame. Each stage in an exoskeleton is called an instar. In the first couple of instars, the black swallowtail caterpillar will look a bit like a black and white bird dropping, which is one way that they hide from predators in the wild. In the later instars, swallowtail caterpillars look similar to monarch caterpillars, with yellow, black, and green patterns. Monarch caterpillars are toxic to many predators, so this mimicry also helps the black swallowtails. Probably the most interesting defense mechanism that swallowtails have against predators is their osmeterium. This is a little inflatable organ that's usually hidden just behind the caterpillar's head. When the caterpillar feels threatened, it will quickly inflate the osmeterium with fluid. It looks pretty aggressive, and it also makes a smell that's similar to turpentine. When the black swallowtail is about 2 inches long and fully grown, it will start to look for something like a sturdy woody stem or a stick to attach itself to. When it finds a place it likes, it will attach its bottom feet securely with its silk, and then start wrapping its abdomen in a silk sling back and forth until it can securely hang like a tiny little candy cane. Soon after this, the caterpillar turns into a pupa. and will usually darken to look remarkably similar to a little bit of wood. Usually the pupal stage lasts about 2 weeks, although outside, the chrysalises can hide like this all winter if they're formed late in the season. You can tell if it's a girl or boy by looking at the powdery blue markings between the yellow outlines on their backs. Females will have much less inner yellow marking and more blue. Males will have less blue and more yellow. I let our swallowtail butterflies out right after they hatch. If it's damp or rainy, they usually hang out on my plants for a long time, even a few days, until the sun comes out and dries things off. If it's a beautiful day, they usually fly off to a high tree right away. When I see them back in the garden later on, they're usually enjoying my milkweed and zinnia flowers, and maybe even laying some new eggs for the next generation. So this year, if you find these little ivory balls on your carrots, fennel, or dill, consider sheltering them as they grow, and however your garden grows, keep growing as a gardener.